Today on the table we have penguins, yay! One of my favorite and cutest animals of all time. Yep, and Konami made them an archetype. I know. We'll need to properly dissect them because of that. Alright, they were used by Shuzo Otaki from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Who was one of the game masters in the filler virtual reality arc with, you know, the Kaiba family and all that. Didn't particularly like it all that much, but it did give us Last Turn, which was one of the most broken cards ever made. So yeah, anyway, let's get started. Before we do, we actually have two normal monsters to get rid of. Bolt Penguin, one of the only, if not the only water thunder type monster in the game, which is completely useless wherever you put him. Then we have a slightly more usable Flying Penguin due to him being a level 4, and an aqua type monster which could serve as Bahamut Shark material. So yeah, there's that, and he can be used in conjunction with Rescue Rabbit. Although stats could be miles better if it was a Rescue Rabbit target. But anyway, let's go on to their effect monsters. First up being Puny Penguin, a level 1 with 400 attack and 200 defense, just 100 more attack than Kuribo, nice. And when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard after being flipped face up, target one penguin monster in your graveyard except Puny Penguin, special summon that target in face up attack position or face down defense position. So bottom line, this thing is a much worse Batteryman Microcell in every possible sense. I mean, it is ran at 2 or 3 because it's a 1-for-1 target. Then again, it needs to be flipped face up in order to use its effect. So 1-for-1 does not help in that regard. And yeah, I mean, it can recycle your stuff, but overall, it's generally not that good of an option. Now, a monster you absolutely would love to pay attention to is Penguin Soldier. He has a flip effect that lets him target up to 2 monsters on the field and return them to the hand. This, back in the day, was such a good removal effect that everyone was in fear, because some face downs were either, back in the day, it was either Needleworm or this thing, so both were basically very, very powerful cards at the time. And there's actually a support card which we'll get into later that makes this thing an absolute monster and a genuine threat to deal with. So yeah, this is all around a really nice card. But can you imagine if this thing did not target? I mean, yeah, then they remembered Konami then remembered Madolche Queen Tiaramisu, and yeah, well, Tiaramisu came out way after this thing, but yeah, if this thing did not target, this would Tiramisu would be completely outdated by this thing, because yeah, it's just that good. So yeah, Penguin Soldier is definitely a 3-off staple in the deck. Now Penguin Knight is, oh my god, let's start. When this card is sent directly from your deck to the graveyard by an effect of a card controlled by your opponent, unite your cards and your own deck, shuffle them and form a new deck. Oh boy, you can smell the old school Yu-Gi-Oh text in this one, but overall this ain't no Penguin, this is a Madolche. Yeah, I mean, you could take this thing into a Madolche deck and brick a bit if you feel like it, but overall, yeah, this is more useful in a Madolche deck than a Penguin deck, because basically if this is sent from the deck to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, such as, I don't know, Vampire Lord or anything like that, Needleworm, yeah, can trigger this thing's effect. Basically, you shuffle your entire graveyard along with this thing back into your deck. So yeah, no, this is a Madolche card, period. Next up we have our first level 4 Guard Penguin. When you take damage from a card effect, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, gain life points equal to the damage you took. Always run 3 and never any less. This is the only form of protection the archetype has, and yeah, it's basically an archetypal battle in Boxer Veil. even though Veil works on battle damage as well. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, yeah, this is this works so well against Trick Stars, which, you know, are burning people to death in the current meta. So yeah, you should always consider running 3 of them, because yeah, it's a level 4 water monster again. Works well in conjunction with Bahamut Shark. So yeah. Next up we have Nightmare Penguin, another level 4, and all face-up water monsters you control gain 200 attack. When this card is flipped face up, target one card your opponent controls or return that to the hand. Overall, this attack boost is not relevant in the slightest, but yeah, the second effect is basically another Penguin Soldier, but this time it works on any card, but for that reason they limited it to only 1 card instead of 2, because it would be a lot worse than that. So yeah, but again, in conjunction with their next monster, which I want to show, this thing and Penguin Soldier become actually a really formidable monsters, and that penguin is No Penguin. Yeah, silly pun there. But anyway, during either player's turn, when an effect of a penguin monster is activated, special summon this card from your graveyard. You can only use this effect of No Penguin once per turn. If a card will be returned from the field to the hand by the effect of a penguin card, banish it instead. Okay, this along with Guard Penguin is something that you always run at 3 and never any less. It has a really cool graveyard recycling effect, so yeah, you can basically dump it to the graveyard in order to get a free monster. And yeah, it's a level 3 for some reason. I would have loved it if this thing was a level 4. So yeah, but anyway, this basically turns Penguin Soldier and Nightmare Penguin, if you prefer to run it, into a flip effect banish monsters. So it's a pretty genuine threat to deal with, since yeah, Penguin Soldier can banish 2 powerful monsters. Nightmare Penguin can get rid of any card upon being flipped face up. So yeah, overall you run this guy at 3 at all times. Yeah, I should have showcased this before Guard Penguin, but yeah, I a bit of miscalculated. I thought it was a level 4 for some reason, but yeah, no damage done, right? Right. Anyway, next up we have their last monster, the Great Emperor Penguin. A level 5 with 1800 attack and 1500 defense. Oh boy. You can tribute this card to special summon up to 2 penguin monsters from your deck, except the Great Emperor Penguin. I guess it can be used in Link heavy decks and some Xyz shenanigans, but overall it's not considered running because the stats are way too miserable for what it does. Yeah, this is basically some sort of an archetypal rescue rabbit, although you're just better off running a simple rescue rabbit along with 3 flying penguins, but yeah, hey ho, I guess you can decide on that, run by preference, I guess. Alright, grades. Consistency is purely non-existent because, yeah, you bring out all of them with Mother Grizzly, you know, everyone except No Penguin and the Great Emperor Penguin, which, yeah, Great Emperor Penguin I can kind of forgive, but No Penguin is basically their best monster, so yeah, that's kind of a bummer. So 1 out of 3 in the consistency. Power. Their strongest monster has 1800 attack, and that should speak for itself. 1 out of 3. Comeback ability purely depends on resummoning Penguin Soldier in face down defense position and via the effect of Puny Penguin, and then triggering the effect of No Penguin and Penguin Soldier at the same time. None of which are too reliable and a bit too specific, so yeah, that's 1 out of 3. Protection exists in the form of Guard Penguin, and that's the only thing we have, so 1 out of 3 as well. And as for the versatility, I guess Penguin Soldier in the early meta used to be a very genuine threat. No Penguin helped him out a bit, and that's all we have, basically, which is not for me to give it any more than 1 out of 3. So those were Penguins. I thought they'll get more support. Yeah, I would really love to see an Xyz monster of theirs because they have real potential to yeah, be a genuine threat. I mean, they have access to Bahamut Shark and totally awesome, but it's not nearly enough to for them to be considered meta or anything. So yeah, all we can do now is await potentially new support for penguins. Well, anyway, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos and updates. Comment, like, and subscribe. And tomorrow I'll have the final archetype analysis before I leave the scene of archetype analysis for a much longer than you would expect. See you all. Have a good day and peace.